Hey anyone, I'm Hawk and this is Talk of Better Worlds. No Man's Sky. I remember pre-ordering No Man's Sky on PS4 when the hype was at its height before release in 2016. I watched every interview with Sean Murray and was beyond excited for the game. I even took a whole week off of work, since at the time I had nothing better to do, just to play this revolutionary, groundbreaking game. A game that was supposed to be unlike anything we had ever seen before. The wait was almost unbearable. Then, the day came. August 9th, 2016. A Tuesday, if I remember correctly. I downloaded the game at 12 AM and booted it up almost the moment it was done. I remember flying through the stars in the first loading screen, being amazed at how we could visit every single one of them. And then I got to the initialize screen. I held X, and the game began. I played for hours, days even, and I didn't really sleep too much. But I was in denial that the game that we got was nothing like the game we were promised. It was too big of a blow for me to admit, even to myself at the time. But eventually, I had to. And after a few days, there was nothing left to do but see more planets that looked kind of like the planets I had seen the last 20 times I landed somewhere. So I put the game down and I moved on to other things for my time off. It was years before I picked up No Man's Sky again. What brought me back to it was the first update on my list, The Abyss. Now, No Man's Sky had a few updates before this, but I was so upset at the lies that we were told that I couldn't bring myself to play the game again. Not at that time, anyway. The Abyss was enough to make me at least poke around again. I was kind of interested. I love water stuff. I have really bad thalassophobia, fear of open or deep waters. But I kind of like exploring that stuff in games. Subnautica comes to mind with that, and I think it's the most terrifying game ever made. But No Man's Sky The Abyss overhauled the oceans, added some underwater base building, which was really cool, and added the Nautilon, a little submarine you could use to explore the deeper oceans. I found that really interesting, and it gave me a sliver of hope for the game's future. I only played it for a little bit, but I put it down after that. A few more years went by, and I had hoped the game was starting to be on track to become the game that we were promised. And in 2020, another update dropped that piqued my interest, Desolation. This update added desolate freighters that were infested with alien things and tend to be kind of creepy. I love when space has a scary element. I think space is the perfect place for horror. By its nature, it's beyond terrifying. It's ultimately alien to us. But Desolation brought in those cool, creepy freighters and added some generally new, creepy, weird stuff to the void. And I'm always down for that. Then, in the same year, came a bigger update, Origins. This update was another point where my hope for the future of No Man's Sky was invigorated. Origins changed a lot of things with the game. It added sandworms, which is always dope, new planet types, more landscapes, weather and conditions, giant buildings, new hazards, and stuff like volcanoes, tornadoes, and meteors. It really changed a ton. This update felt like a real overhaul to the game, the first real big overhaul to the game, and I was totally there for it. A year later, in 2021, they added companions in the aptly named Companion update, where you could tame animals and even breed them, kind of like Pokemon, but weirder. I always wanted to have a little pet alien thing running around the galaxy with me from the start, so this was one that stood out to me for really that reason alone. It's nothing big, but I really enjoyed it personally. I still enjoy it. And finally, the last update that really drew me back into the game was Sentinel in 2022, where they added a bunch of new Sentinels, including a Sentinel walker mech thing. Sentinels were kind of like pests in the early years of the game. They were never really a big threat and were more annoying than anything else. Now, they could chase you on the ground or in space, and are an actual threat. If you're out scanning planets and see a high Sentinel presence, you're gonna think twice before tearing that planet up. And there it is. Those are 5 kind of turning point updates for No Man's Sky that brought me back or gave me hope that the game was going to get to the place it deserved to be. There's plenty of other great updates that I love, but those 5 had more of an impact on me and got me back on the wagon for No Man's Sky, kind of. No Man's Sky today, in the year of our Lord 2024, finally feels like what I hoped it would be all the way back in 2016. It's not right that we were lied to, but I can't think of a better redemption arc in the whole of the gaming industry to this day. Hello Games really brought this game around, and I'm beyond grateful that they decided not to charge us for those updates, where they easily could have, and I think almost any other company would have charged us. They lost their good name and trust, but fought really hard to get it back, and in my opinion, it's well earned at this point. By the time the mad lads at Hello Games are done, I think No Man's Sky will be something even greater than what we hoped it could originally be. So if you've never played No Man's Sky, or if you're still upset about the terrible scar of the release, pick it up today. I promise you won't regret it. Thank you for listening.
Hey, thanks for watching.
Give us a like if you enjoyed it, and dislike it if you didn't.
Let us know what you think about the channel.
And don't forget to subscribe.
Tell your mom.